How's everybody doing? My name is Michael,
I'm Jeffrey.
and this is Houston Brothers Gaming News. Today we got a few things we want to talk about, but first, next week our channel will be undergoing a makeover, I guess you could call it. We're going to be transferring from doing news to something else. So
We will be back eventually, we're hoping next week, but if not, then sometime the week after, and our upload schedule will change as well from Sunday to pretty much just whenever we get the video done. At the current stage, we're still working out some of the details, but just note that as per gaming news, this will probably be our last news story, mainly because there's currently no good gaming news and there's only controversy, and we just don't want to get sued by someone by saying the wrong thing.
yeah, so now that that's out of the way, the first thing we're going to talk about is Pokemon Go. This past week we've heard some stories. The first thing that we want to say is to people that are playing this game, look up. When you're playing this game, don't constantly be looking down at your phone. Like we said last week, your phone will vibrate when a Pokemon is near it.
And if you are looking down it, and if you want to see if there are any Pokemon you don't have near you, well, first off, there's a 3 footprint glitch going on right now, so I don't know why it would matter. But for those of you who do want to see if there's a Pokemon you don't have near you, just step to the side of the sidewalk, that way people can still walk by, look at your phone, and see if there are any Pokemon near you. Don't go, just looking down at your phone constantly, because that is a danger to you, as well as to people around you, as well as you could cause a car crash. And you don't want that on your conscience saying, oh, well, I was just playing a game. You want to be safe and be smart. Always be aware of your surroundings.
Exactly, and the reason we're re-bringing this up, if you haven't seen last week's episode, we talked more in depth about Pokemon Go last week. I will put a link to that in the description. But what happened this last week was I've seen 2 stories that have just kind of from Pokemon Go, and the first one was a guy got caught up in a tree trying to catch a Pokemon.
Okay, so first off, this is totally stupid. I mean, how do you get stuck in a tree? But that's beside the point. And second off, the Pokemon, you don't need to be right on top of the leaves. You need to be near them. But that little ping that goes out from your character's perspective, that is there for a reason. That just shows you exactly how close you are to the Pokemon. And those leaves will show you where the Pokemon is. So as long as your ping can reach out to those leaves, you just need to stay around those leaves that circle upward, then eventually the Pokemon will appear. You don't need to be right on top of them.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Your character does not need to be on top of them. And the second thing is, again, do not play this game and drive. Because there was a video about a guy who crashed into a cop car who was on the side of the road giving someone a ticket, and he crashed into the cop's car and kept driving. And he said he was playing Pokemon Go while he was doing it. So again, do not drive and play Pokemon Go. Again, we said this last week, but we're reiterating it because it seems people don't get the idea. Yes, it's a fun game. It's a good game.
I will be the first to admit, I do not like app-based games. I do not like, Angry Birds. I don't like Clash of Clans. I don't like any of those types of games. But I will admit, I am heavily addicted to Pokemon Go. But I'm not so addicted as to when I'm driving or when I'm walking, I won't watch where I'm going just for the sake of catching another Rattata or Pidgey. I will always be aware of my surroundings. And me and my brother are usually walking, so if he sees something I don't, he can warn me ahead of time. So always stay in a group is another thing. And one more thing before I let my brother take back over if he has any more points. Do not play this around the police station. I've read 5 more stories of people playing it around the police station who've got arrested for suspicious behavior. Do not play it around any type of official governmental type properties.
So, now with that out of the way and the Pokemon Go update out of the way, let's talk about some other Nintendo news. The other 2 stories we got are from Nintendo. The first one is that Ubisoft CEO says Nintendo NX is going to be looking great. Apparently, Nintendo distributed their developmental kits for the NX back in October 2015, and Ubisoft got one and says that it has potential.
I
I will
also
leave. I will leave links to all the articles we talk about in the description below, so that way you guys can look at it. But from what I'm reading here, it looks like they. He said, on the NX, what we've seen is really great. We think having a new machine coming is going to help the industry continue to grow and to a lot of casual players and bring a lot of casual players back to the industry.
I, for one, love casual gaming, which is why I love Nintendo. I mean, the other brands just seem more of a competitive type of market, while Nintendo is just, always seemed like that casual game players market. And I, for one, just love playing games casually. I don't like to play competitively with anything. So, I personally think the NX is going to be a great addition to the Nintendo family of consoles.
So it says that it's rumored to be less powerful than the PS4's Neo or Xbox One Scorpio. So there's that. I mean, it's probably going to look a little bit less impressive than the other two. Than the two I just previously mentioned, the Neo and the Scorpio.
But one thing that they aren't are a completely workable headset. Now, I don't like VR, but I would be willing to give the NX a try just because I have seen patents for a NX counterpart that seems like it would be a handheld device, kind of like the Wii U gamepad. Kind of like something like the Wii U gamepad, you can take your game on the go with you, as well as it being a home console. And that's kind of what I'm thinking it'll be. Kind of like a Wii U upgrade. But yeah, it's definitely, nothing's going to be more impressive than the Scorpio for a while.
So the last little bit of information here on the article I'm reading says that on July 27th, Nintendo has its schedule to share their fourth quarter earnings for the 2016 fiscal year, and then that might be the time that they divulge more information on the NX. They said in the first quarter that they were targeting for the first quarter of 2017 for a release. So we have that to look forward to on the 27th, which is going to be just a few days away.
I was thinking about what I said earlier, and I think I should explain why I said I think the NX is a headset. I was looking at the patents for Nintendo, and the NX patent was a headset. I couldn't understand any of it because I don't program games or consoles. I don't know the first thing about doing that, but it did look like there was going to be either a headset involved or was going to be strictly a VR headset looking, kind of like Oculus Rift type of thing. Kind of like a Virtual Boy, but I'm hoping better. And the second piece of news we have is Nintendo wants Legend of Zelda producer Eiji Anomura, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but I think that's how you pronounce it, to create a new IP. I will be the first to admit I'm not a huge fan of The Legend of Zelda. I know it's blasphemy, but I've never really gotten into it. I have played some of the games. I played Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time. I've played a little bit of Wind Waker with one of my friends. But I just never really been a big fan of it. I don't think my brother has either.
I've played a few of the games, but like my brother, I've just never really gotten into the dungeon, the dungeon crawling style, the type of style that Legend of Zelda is. I've just never really been a big fan of it.
I mean, by all means, we are not saying they're bad games. No, they're actually very well-made games. I love the music, the art styles on some of them are really fantastic. But as for the style of game itself, I'm just never really been a big fan of it. But the new IP...
So, according to what this article says, that Nintendo, apparently the producer Legend of Zelda said that Nintendo's trying to push him for new games, possibly a new franchise. He said, actually, Nintendo has been telling me to create a new IP. He told Edge Magazine via GameSpresso in an interview. But then they also want me to make more Zelda games, is another thing he said. Um, he said that he didn't divulge too many details, but they said he did tell him, I really like the idea of a game where I can live life as a thief. That's all I'll say. So we could be getting a stealth-based game from Nintendo for possibly the NX.
I would personally, if it was a stealth-based game or like a Elder Scrolls type game, I would personally give it a shot. I mean, I give anything a fair shot, even if people say it's the worst game in history. I still give it a fair shot for myself because it's just basically an opinion. But I would, in my personal opinion, would love to see a stealth-based game from Nintendo where you're living as a thief, or even like a Skyrim, Elder Scrolls-based game.
Yeah. So, he's been with Nintendo for a while. He's been with the company since 1988 when Miyamoto recruited him to the Zelda team and his first game that he worked on was the Ocarina of Time. So, I mean, he's been with Nintendo for a majority of his career, probably, and so that's really all that I have for today. Do you have anything else?
Just be safe playing Pokemon Go. Always stay in a group, and for the love of God, look up is all I have to end on.
Alright, well, that's it. Like we said, channel might be going through a change over the week, so
we will be back probably, we're hoping, sometime in the middle or late next week, or maybe early next week. But in the upcoming weeks, we will be back. We will have a completely new style, just completely new everything. It's going to be totally revamped. And again, mainly because we don't want to say the wrong thing and get sued by some company.
Yep. So hit the like button if you guys enjoyed this episode.
And
leave a comment down below.
And if you liked what you saw, then give us a subscribe. Or if you want to see this video and you want to wait to see what our changes, that's perfectly fine. But just make sure to come back sometime next week.
But that's all for now. I'm Michael.
I'm Jeffrey.
We are signing out.